and I don't have it figured out. There are days I have my doubts, but you never let me down. So why would you leave me? I don't have it figured out. There are days. Some time ago, I made a singer-songwriter pop album called Another Turn, and it turns 10 years old this year. For those of you familiar with my Guitar Focus channel, that might be a surprise to you, even though there's a link to the album at the end of each video, and I tried to sneak the songs in here and there. But honestly, it's something I'm really proud of, and so I thought it would be nice at this 10-year anniversary to reflect back, kind of celebrate the album, the songs, and even reveal some never-before-seen footage. And I've had a few of these CDs lying around my studio for years that I've never had the opportunity to sell, so I thought this would be the perfect time. Now, I know a lot of people don't even have a way to play a CD nowadays, but if you do, or if you just want to show support, I figured out a way for you to be able to purchase these physical CDs online and for me to ship them to you. They're going to be $10 for the 10-year anniversary. It's through bandcamp.com, and here's how you do it. Just click on the link in the video description below or in the upper part of the screen. If you're on a computer, you're going to scroll down until you see buy compact disc, click on that. And if you're on a phone, you're just going to scroll down and then over to compact disc and tap there. Now, if you do so, not only are you going to get the physical CD, you're also going to get the digital download. And even though you won't see it initially, you're going to get downloads of the demos of all 7 songs on the album, and I'll show you the hidden songs on my account to prove that I'm not lying. Of course, the album is also available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, etc., so you can go and listen to it there as well. Now, if you're not familiar at all with this album, or you just need a refresher, I wanted to play you like a 30-second clip of each song, just so you get an idea of what they're like before we dive in deeper. So here goes. Stay, that was a better way the whole time. My stupid head thought it better instead to go my own way. But what was I thinking? I had no reason to trust myself. But that's where your grace comes in. I like the way you make me feel. Can this be real? Oh, every single time that you look my way, I never seem to find the right words to say. But if it So let's go back 10 years ago and talk about how all this started. I was in various bands in my college years and shortly thereafter with pretty minimal success. I mean, God bless us, we tried, but it really wasn't going anywhere. We mainly played for our family and friends' churches or youth events. I've even dug up some old embarrassing footage of some of that, which we don't need to spend a lot of time on. Now I will say that some of these guys are still doing music. Greg Dampier, who is a drummer, and Tyler Edwards, who is a solo artist, are both really good active musicians, and I'm going to put their Instagram links below. And speaking of people I've had connections with in old videos, I actually found one of Rhett McLaughlin introducing me and my friend Jonathan Anderson at a Campus Crusade event. If you don't know, Rhett and Link Neal are part of Good Mythical Morning and have a pretty big YouTube following with about 20 million subscribers.
He teaches courses in conflict resolution, family communications, and interpersonal communications. And he has 3 boys who are here with him today. Jeremy, who's 3, Jason, who's 6 and a half, and Michael, who's 8. But before we hear from them, we're going to have some special music for some guys from State. Yeah! Jonathan Anderson, they're going to be performing Prodigal Me.
I've always thought about doing a video about how I know Rhett Link, but I wasn't sure if anyone would be interested. If you would be, leave me a comment and let me know. Okay, moving on. So I still had the bug in me and I wanted to write songs. And so having been married about 5 years and my first kid on the way, I finally got the spark with my songwriting. When I wrote God in the Way, which is a song on the album, I knew it was pretty good, and that sort of gave me the confidence and the drive to write more songs. Ironically, that song and a couple of others on the album like Stones Unturned and I Will were written on the piano, and I think that kind of opened up new possibilities. However, I had very limited knowledge of the piano or how to play since I'm primarily a guitar player, and so I would literally video myself playing the chords so that I could remember them later on. So anyway, somehow I found out about Kendal Osborne, and by the way, I was living in Tulsa at the time. Actually, I found out about Kendal from Ashkan Karimi, who by the way currently makes music as Lone Wild. Go check him out, it's great stuff. Ashkan is also someone I made music with before. Anyway, back to Kendal Osborne. Kendal has a studio in Tulsa, and so I eventually got enough songs and the courage to reach out to him and honestly just get a beat on whether or not the songs were good enough to record. To my surprise, he said he thought I had something and that it was definitely worth recording. Now, Kendal is a fantastic guitar player, recording engineer, mixer, producer. I mean, the guy does it all, and he's definitely the main reason this album happened at all. So I jumped into the studio with Kendal to record God in the Way. Now, at this time, he was in his original studio, which was actually in his parents' house. They must have been really patient and understanding. More on that later. So the idea was to record one song and use it as a springboard to raise money for the rest of the project. Once I realized how much it was going to cost, I thought I could use a little help, and my wife and I weren't sure we wanted to gamble our money away on a risk. But at the same time, I really believed in the songs with Kendal at the helm. So I got connected with my wife's friend's husband, Demetrius Safras, who is a videographer, and we put together a little video for a Kickstarter campaign. I won't show you the whole thing, but the video had some cool B-roll footage, including me riding my motorcycle around town, and it basically explained what I was trying to do, that I wanted to put down half the money myself, but I was asking for help with the other half. Of course, there were different perks for each donation point. You know how Kickstarter works. But I also included how God in the Way came together, from a voice memo to a demo and then finally to the full studio version. So fast forward almost 2 years and the album was finally done. Yes, that's how long it took from start to finish. And one big reason for that was that Kendal moved in the middle of recording from his old studio to a brand new one. Of course, the new studio was much bigger and better, but naturally it took him a while to get settled in, set up, and used to the sound of the studio, because every studio has its own quirks. Plus, a lot of things had to be re-recorded, like drums and acoustic guitars. Okay, so what I want to do at this point is give you a very brief rundown of each song and then show you some behind the scenes footage. I hope you find it interesting. I know you're not my mom gushing over my 3rd grade art project, but if you're anything like me, you enjoy geeking out about how music gets made. So first up is Stones Unturned. The song is basically saying, make the most of your life. If you have the opportunity to do something of value, do it by all means and with all you have. I'm going to show you some footage of me playing the song live. You'll see Kendal at the desk engineering the drum recording, and you'll get to see Josh Roach for the first time, who played drums on the album.
keep it going.
Have we lost? Have we lost? We give back a result when it's all said and done. Got in the Way was like the flagship song of the album. It was the single, the first song we recorded, all that. It's simply about God's grace being bigger than our mistakes. That being said, I don't actually have a lot of footage of the song being recorded, so I'm going to show you me trying to document some of the piano chords for myself to remember, and then Kendal in the old studio mixing some scratch tracks. There it is. Back and forth. And then, so the D sharp. With You By My Side is straight up a pop love song. It's definitely the most groovy song on the album. I'm going to show you me playing it live acoustically, adding some BGVs in the studio, and then Kendal laying down some funky guitar. But before that, I have to say that one of my favorite moments on this album came from the bass player Matthew Maxwell on this song. And I don't have any video of Matt playing, all I have is a photo. I'm not sure if Matt actually played on every song on the album, maybe Kendal did some of the bass, but I know that Matt did upright bass on Why Would You Leave, and he did this killer quick little run on With You By My Side. I might just make a move. Did you catch that? Let's hear it again. I might just make a move, baby. Alright, get closer to you, baby. Alright, I'm just not that smooth, baby. Alright, I'm troubled, I can't do it, baby. Alright, it's so much you look my way. Never say before the right words to say, but if I look like a fool, it's worth it just for one single glance from you. Just make a move, baby. Alright, to get closer to you, baby. Alright. The song I Will is basically saying be the change you want to see. Don't wait on anyone else. In these clips, you're going to get introduced to Ross Ward, who played keys on the album. You'll get to see Josh playing an early Rosanna type shuffle beat that I don't think we actually used. You'll see Kendal playing this smooth blues guitar intro. And here's a fun backstory. At some point in my YouTube career, I thought it was a good idea to come up with a short intro for my videos. And for the music, I settled on this, which you may be familiar with. Interestingly enough, I actually came across a video message of me kind of coming up with this and explaining it to Kendal. Then I have a video of me playing the part on a grand piano for the album, and finally I have Kendal laying down his tasty guitar part. So I thought it was kind of cool to stumble on all that and share it with you since it's become a big part of my YouTube channel. Hey man, I had some quick ideas for who's gonna be. Just thought I'd share while I'm thinking about them. on the little walk down thing. And and this is something really small, but just adding some O's in there, like oh, 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 oh. All right, thanks. Next up is Why Would You Leave? It's basically talking about how God is always there, even during those times when it feels like you're spinning your wheels or you're just having your doubts. So you're going to see Ross playing some grand piano on this. There's some clips of Kendal adding some slightly ambient, eerie sounds, me playing the song live, and then probably the most flattering thing that's ever happened to me, this random Italian guitar player named Francisco Delfino did his own improvised solo of the song and posted it on Instagram. I'm going to share it with you, and it's pretty sick.
1, 2, 3.
I just need to trust you. I just need to let you in. If I can only just let it go. Oh, you've always had the answer. You've always had the best for me. I believe, but help me believe.
Best Part of Me is another pop love song. Although I came up with the main hook, Kendal did a great job of adding flavorful textures on both the acoustic and electric guitars. For the guitar nerds out there, one thing he did was use a Nashville tuning on an acoustic guitar, which is actually my old Taylor GS Mini, to create some really cool picking parts. Alright, last song, The Only Me. It's a song like it sounds. We're all unique, and sometimes you just have to find out who you are and live that out. You can't be anybody else, and that's a good thing. The first clip is an old video of me explaining to myself the guitar tuning so I wouldn't forget. And actually, I think all but one of the guitar-based songs on this album were in odd tunings, which made it kind of difficult to play the songs live with only one guitar. Anyway, you'll get to see Kendal, Josh, and myself laughing over some fake shakers in the studio, and then something a little funny. First, you'll see my idea for the guitar solo in the song, and then you'll get to see the real solo performed by Kendal, which admittedly is much better. But I like to think that I gave him some ideas. Also, I got some of my friends together for a little crowd singing that appears at the very end of the album, and you'll get to see a clip of that as well. Okay, low E string, tuned to C, B string, tuned to C. So, C, C, C. So this is a C chord. This is an F, I believe. And then this guy. Let's see. Lift up. Back to C.
I think this chorus we should come in with the kick shaker.
Be the man that I'm supposed to be. I'm the only one who's me.
Right here with the...
So I'll take it one day at a time, collecting all the good I find, learning from the wrongs that I have.
How foolish do you think we look?
I'm getting it all on video. You can watch yourself later.
This is our version of the
This is how. This is what we do. We play everything out, and like we don't even think how silly we look, but we just do it. Like I'm done.
Sing until my lungs give out. I will trust instead of doubt. Love like tomorrow may not come. I'll take it one day at a time.
Thank you for traveling down memory lane with me, and don't forget about the opportunity to purchase a physical CD of the album. One final thought on the whole thing. I bet some people are wondering why I only ever did one album. The answer to that is kind of simple and a little nuanced. If you heard that little baby cry interrupt the end of that last clip, it's pretty fitting. After I had written all the songs, but before the actual recording, I had my first child. And if you have kids, you know that life changes pretty drastically. By the time the album came out, we had had a second child, and in the same year, we moved across the country. So I was changing jobs and towns and learning how to be a dad. And honestly, it just took precedence over focusing on being a singer-songwriter. Also, the album didn't do that great. I mean, people really liked it, but obviously it never got widespread attention. And that really put into perspective for me how hard it is to get noticed. I mean, it was bad then, but it's only gotten worse. It's fairly easy nowadays to make quality music, but it's getting continually harder to stand out in a crowd. So will I ever write new music or make another album? The answer is, who knows? Never say never, and time will tell. Thanks. Hey, really quick, I want to thank a few more people for making this album possible. The crowd singers, Brooklyn, Kaylee, Dina, Sarah, Evan, and David. Garrett Haynes at Tree Lady Studio for the mastering. Ashkan Karimi, who I mentioned earlier, that did the album artwork. Louis Daniel Burgos, who did the single artwork, Forgotten the Way. And Nick Livingston for the photography.